Anissa from Beauty Within Magazine hosts an informative, motivational podcast. Find your beauty within, which focuses on the importance of a positive mindset for both personal and professional success. With Find Your Beauty Within, people will want to build up their self-worth, know their value, and learn how to love themselves, which can all be found in these episodes. Anissa's positive energy and all that valuable insight her guests bring to the table will have you dusting out those negative cobwebs covering your mind and get you seeing yourself in all your potential with new positive eyes.
All right, welcome to Find Your Beauty Within. Right now, I'm here with Desi Bartlett. She has been in the industry, the fitness and wellness industry, for 25 years. And she's done so many remarkable things from fitness. She worked with Kate Hudson and Alicia Silverstone, like certain celebrities. But the best thing, she's also an author. And I read the book, Total Body Beautiful. She's going to tell us all a little bit about Total Body Beautiful after 35 years and up, and how to stay fit and mental wellness and physical. So Desi, tell us a little bit about yourself, even though I gave the little introduction.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I live in Hawaii now, so aloha from Oahu. I'm originally from Chicago, and I have 2 degrees in fitness. I have my bachelor's in corporate fitness, my master's degree in kinesiology, and really I'm just a big old fitness nerd. And after 25 years of being out of school, I'm now back in school getting my PhD in kinesiology. So this is my life's work. I am completely dedicated to women's health, and especially helping to ease transitions, whether that's new motherhood, perimenopause, menopause, all of the things. That's what lights me up. And I myself am a mother. I've got 2 boys and a wonderful husband. And I really just want to share all that I've learned with women all over the world.
And can you tell me what sparked your interest in health? Like, why did you want to work in health? Did it start when you were in college, or what started you wanting to get involved in health and wellness?
So originally, when I was a little girl, like way back in the day, I'm part of Generation X. And like so many of us, I was a latchkey kid. And I came from a home where, unfortunately there was substance abuse. And so life was really inconsistent. Sometimes it was like feast or famine. Are we going to be able to pay this bill, or are we going to have a lot this month? I kind of never knew. And one of the places that I felt really, really safe was in the dance studio. I would go to ballet class after school. I didn't feel as alone going to an empty apartment. There was consistency. And I learned to really love movement. So dance was always present throughout my life. And then when I went to college, I was originally a dance minor, but I hurt my knee in a class. And I went to the doctor. I went to the university doctor and I said, hey, my knee hurts. And he said, you just need to strengthen your quads. And I said, what's a quad? And so as fate would have it, that very same evening, I met second place Miss Olympia that year, Jackie Paisley.
Oh, wow.
And we were chit-chatting and she's like, I'll take you to the gym. We'll strengthen your quads. And my joke is that I never left the gym since.
And this was in college?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's really serendipitous that all of that came together. It all dovetailed, and I'm so grateful.
And also, tell us about the yoga mat. I was really intrigued by the yoga mat because I have a yoga mat of my own, but I never knew that there's also a round yoga mat. And why is it round, and how does it help families and moms?
So I've been in yoga and fitness for many, many years, and I've worked as a product director for very large yoga companies. And so I would always see these rectangular mats. But yoga, the practice of yoga, comes from hatha yoga. Ha means sun and tha means moon. So the idea is based on the luminaries. And I was looking at this rectangular mat, like, if we're doing sun salutations and we're talking about the sun and the moon, how come we're working on something that doesn't have that shape? So it was just kind of an aha moment of, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like if it's round. And then there were a couple different iterations, but what was really, really important to me, because I work with so many pregnant women and new moms and babies on the mat, was that we had a sustainable material. So many of the cheaper mats are made of basically a PVC derivative, and it's not safe. And it's going to sit in a landfill for 10, 20, 30 years. So how can we bring something in that's safe, that's soft, that promotes full range of motion, that allows you to move freely and feel like it's a dance? That's where all that came about. And like any product, the first time I tried it, there were some bumps. But I encourage anyone who has a dream in their heart for a specific product that can help uplift people in some way, stick with it. Doesn't matter if you have to do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, like, just go.
So you're not just wellness, you're also an entrepreneur. So, because you created this mat. So what did you do with that? Like, how did you, were you the creator, or did you send out for somebody to, design the mat? And then you had marketing and stuff like that done with the mat and everything. Like, so how did it transpire?
I reached out to a friend who was a shoe designer, because I knew that she knew how to do the CADs. I knew that she knew how to do like the technical drawings. And he said, I've got to tell you, it was ridiculous. She sent me a picture of a circle. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I know how to draw a circle. We're cool. But she made it really beautiful, and she helped me out a lot. And I sent it to a major yoga company, and they said, yes, let's go. So we partnered on it. And the first iteration that they made was with a substandard material that unfortunately started to come off on people's feet. And it was very, very slick and slippery. And it was such a bitter pill to swallow, because I had sold it into so many gyms, because I had so many relationships. And so I had to go back to the drawing board and say, thank you so much. I'm going to take this back and I'm going to work on it. And at that time, I was pregnant with my first son. So I couldn't work on it at that moment. I'm like, okay, I need a minute. And then, as fate would have it, about 10 years later, I was working for another yoga company as an executive. And I realized, okay, now's the time. I'm working within a structure where I know what we have available. I know that we have sustainable materials. And I know that this is what I call divine right timing. So it all came together.
Awesome. And I know you felt proud when it was complete.
I did, and I do. And I have to tell you, I'm starting to get that itch again, though. I'm like, oh, I think there might be another iteration. As we grow as women, as human beings, as entrepreneurs, there's that little like tickle that says,
yes,
it can be.
I have an idea. Mm-hmm. So what stores do you sell it online?
It's online on manduka.com, Manduka Yoga. They're a major yoga fitness distributor, and they're fantastic to work with. And so you can find it there. You can also find links to it on my website.
It's a great Christmas gift, everybody. Christmas is coming up.
Yes, it is. Quickly.
And also yoga. I didn't know, because I actually researched more about yoga, that there's like 11 styles of yoga. So that really intrigued me. So what style do you teach? And can you give us a little definition of some of these yogas that we don't even know about?
Yeah, so I primarily teach what's called vinyasa. And most people assume that vinyasa means flow, because the 2 words are put together. And it is. It's fluid, and it feels very dance-like your breath is your dancing partner, and you never want to drop her. And it's beautiful. But I also want to go back to what the true definition is. In Sanskrit, vi means to place. In yasa means in a special way. So you're placing each part of your body, each part of your consciousness in a special way. And that's what I love. Kundalini, for example, is all about Kundalini energy, which is said to be life force energy. The yogis believe that it's held in the first three chakras. So the root, the reproductive organs, and then just above the belly button. And then they invite that energy to dance upward. It's a cool style that I'm just starting to flirt with a little bit. It was never really where I went before, but it fascinates me. Iyengar yoga is another style. Iyengar is the one where you see like every prop known to man, chairs, blocks, straps, blankets, you name it, we use it. And the reason for that is because Iyengar, BKS Iyengar, the gentleman who began that style, he was practicing with two other pioneers in the yoga industry. They didn't know that they were at the time. They were just young men in India that were practicing together. But of the three, he was the one that had leg length discrepancy, scoliosis, all kinds of issues. And what he realized is, hey, if I'm going to practice, I need to adjust the practice to me, because I can't always adjust myself to the practice. And that was such a beautiful realization, because that's what we want to do with our students. We want to modify the practice for them and not say, hey, no, you have to fit in this box. So that's another beautiful style. I also teach pre and postnatal. There's restorative yoga, yin yoga. Yin is all about receiving the breath, receiving the pose. Each pose can last 10 to 20 minutes, and it's all about restoring the nervous system, specifically the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what we tap into when we are in rest and restore, or a more crass way of saying it, I apologize in advance. It's also called feed and breed, because that's when we can actually digest and reproduce.
What's the one I see online where women, they hold their bodies up like with just two hands, and that's just like remarkable. So which one is that?
So any kind of arm balance you can see across the board, but typically that's seen in what's called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga refers to the 8-limb path, and there's a lot of very physical, intense poses. And so when I talked about those three pioneers, one of those pioneers was a gentleman named Pattabhi Jois, and he's responsible for bringing Ashtanga Yoga from India to the US. Now, part of the history of this is that we want to be aware of is that he had gone, let me back up. Yoga started in India thousands of years ago. Then it kind of lost favor and went underground. Then Pattabhi Jois brought it back, and he went to the government actually in India and said, hey, I'd like to bring this back. And specifically, I'd like to start a school and help channel the energy of adolescent boys. So that you see really intense physical poses, because he was trying to lead these young men into channeling their energy. Now, during the 60s, during hippie culture, Americans went over to India and they were checking this out, and they're like, hey, I can find a sustained high, not just the drugs that were in vogue at the time. I can find a sustained high naturally without an external substance by moving my body, by breathing, by enjoying this practice. So that's how it kind of all comes together. So when I see women in like handstands and crow pose and all the things, there's a long history that took like lots of steps to get us there.
And that's a lot of strength.
Yes.
It's a lot of strength in that. A lot of strength in that. And also, again, we're going to talk about total body beautiful. I like it because it says secrets of looking your best after 35. Because as you get older, your body changes, and you're just not the same. And you miss those 20 when you could eat McDonald's at 20 years old and don't gain weight. Because I'm around a bunch of young people, and they just eating everything. I'm like, dang, I gotta eat egg whites,
right?
So I watch them eat their McDonald's and Wendy's and all their fast food, and they don't gain a pound. And then when they do gain it, they lose it like that. So when I read the book, I like the transition from menstruation to your hormone balance to menopause. So I like all the transitions what women go through in life. So can you tell us any thing in the book? And now you worked with 2 other women as well.
Yeah. So I lived in Los Angeles for 20 years. I worked with a lot of celebrities, and I had 2 friends. I have 2 friends that continue to live and teach there that are amazing trainers. Nicole Stewart teaches Pilates. Andrea Orbeck is a fantastic personal trainer. And I had this idea of bringing all of the elements of fitness together. What if we have yoga and weight training and Pilates and mental health and emotional health, and we bring it all together to really uplift women? So we came together at the beginning of the pandemic, and obviously we had some time to write a book because we were all home, and we were able to collaborate. And to your point, we realized just what you said, like what worked in your 20s doesn't necessarily work now. So as early as 35, we can begin perimenopause. And perimenopause simply refers to the time before menopause when estrogen and progesterone begin to decline. Now, estrogen specifically helps us to maintain lean muscle mass. As these hormones decline, we have a redistribution of fat, and guess where it goes? Directly to
the gut.
Yes, which is unfortunately more dangerous. Women tend to hold fat more in our hips and thighs. When it moves to the abdomen and it becomes more like a male pattern of holding fat, now it's sitting on our organs, right? So we have to be really, really careful and think about our diet, think about nutrition, not just what we're taking in, like all of those egg whites, but also what are we taking in mentally and emotionally? Are we scrolling all day long and comparing ourselves to other women? Are we competing with other women, whether we recognize that consciously or not? Are we
especially as you get older, because the bodies change. I mean, it's good that we could look at them, but we're not, it's hard to get back to what we used to. So we have to love ourselves for where we are at the moment and just do the best we can for what we have. I could tell you a little bit about this, because the reason why this inspires me, even though my program called Find Your Beauty Within, I've been on a fitness plan for the last few months. During COVID, I gained so much weight. I was just getting so huge. And I signed up with a boxing class. I already lost 15 pounds. I have a nutritionist. I box. I do Pilates. I eat right, it's like I said, the egg whites. I'm tired of seeing egg whites. I eat a lot of protein. So this book is very inspiring, and what you're doing for a woman over 35, because this way we could be our best selves at our age at the present time.
And huge congratulations to you for taking hold of the reins of your health, because we're all responsible for our own bodies, our own minds, our own hearts. So that's something to be celebrated.
Ready to transform your laundry routine? Look no further. Elevate your laundry game with Laundry Sauce's exceptional range of products, from high-performance pods to invigorating scents, and even dryer sheets that add a touch of luxury to your every load. Discover scents that define you and a community that celebrates living life to the fullest. Join the Sauciety today and redefine your laundry experience. Ready to rise above the rest? Get yours now and experience Laundry Sauce's exceptional touch.
It's a lot of hard work, especially if you have a busy schedule. It's hard, but you have to put in the work. Like I said, you can't just eat McDonald's and just say, okay. No, you have to put in the work. As you get older, you have to put in the work. Even if it's watching. Now there's so many apps that you can do. Do you have an app, an exercise app, or something you're working on?
I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Desi Bartlett. You can find a lot of free yoga and fitness videos there. Okay. I also have prenatal content on iFit as well as Beachbody.
Yes, and tell me about prenatal. So what do you give for women that are pregnant and that have to exercise? because some might say they can't do strenuous exercise, but some say they can't do this. So what do you advise for women that are pregnant?
So I love the philosophy of Buddha and really following the middle way and not living on the extremes. So I'm not going to send her to CrossFit, but I'm also not going to tell her to sit on her couch for 9 months unless she was advised by her doctor. If you think about labor and delivery, it's like a marathon, but you have no idea when it's going to end. Is it going to be an hour? Is it going to be a day? Is it going to be 2 days? So we have to be strong physically and prepared for that. So I'm really into squats and making sure that the lower body is prepared for pushing, abdominal strength performed in a safe way. I'm not talking about crunches. A lot of it has to do with really full, deep diaphragmatic breathing, and also upper body strength. You know, my second baby, goodness gracious, he was 10 pounds. Like I had to have some bicep and shoulder strength.
He was big.
He was
He
huge.
was 10 pounds?
10 pounds.
Wow. How old is he now?
He's 9 years old. He's 92 pounds.
He's just a football player.
He is. He's a big boy.
That's awesome. And also, because we talk about the physical, but what about the mental? I noticed in this era today, this is what I noticed. Maybe it was always around, but I just see it more now. Mental health is like maybe people are more aware, but there's so many problems with mental health. And how does fitness help with mental health? Like if a person's depressed, or if they have anxiety, does yoga and fitness, does this help alleviate some of your problems? Yeah. I mean, not your problems, but some if you have depression or something.
So exercise has a chemical response, and it helps to activate sort of like nature's pharmaceutical remedies within us. So things like the dopamine response and just like chilling out and feeling blissed out after yoga, that's real. And we can measure the impact on the nervous system. So when you think about the nervous system, we've got two responses. We've got sympathetic, which is fight or flight. That's when we're like, on edge. And I think all of us were like that, sort of at least low key, for 2 years, between COVID and all of the things that were happening in our world. We were all stressed, and it came out, or it manifested in issues with our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional health. So if I can now tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, which again is that rest and relax, and I can invite you to breathe and to stretch and to move in a way that isn't super taxing to your body. I'm not saying I'm never going to take you into sprints. I'll take you into sprints once in a while, because we do need that sympathetic response once in a while. But I need to balance it out so that I can get all of those feel-good hormones to release in you, and so that the mind can settle down and you can quiet down internally and you can hear and feel your own thoughts.
What motivates you?
What motivates me? Motherhood being a good example to my boys, making sure that I walk my talk and stand in integrity and represent women in a way that they would be proud of.
Awesome. And when we talked about before, we was talking about eating habits, and I was talking about young people eating McDonald's. But what foods should people avoid? I would say definitely after 35. What foods should people like if they can have carbs, but good carbs, or like what food should they avoid and what foods are good?
Yeah. So nutrition is such a beautiful, delicate science, and it's really confusing because we have macronutrients, which is simply protein, carb, and fat. And then within those three, some are terrible, to your point, and some are fantastic. When we talk about a carbohydrate, if I hand somebody bleached, white, sugar-laden bread, that's not good. But if I give that same person an apple, those are both carbs. So we need to really just kind of lean towards natural sources. And what I share more than anything is like lean towards products that have less than 4 ingredients. when you get into that list of like 27 additives and shelf stabilizers, it's going to have an effect on your body. It's going to have an effect on the hormones in your body. So if we can stay with fruits, vegetables, natural, lean sources of protein, if you're a meat eater, like that's where I like to live.
Yeah, so stay away from the main thing, sugar, fried foods is the main thing to stay away from. Correct?
And overly processed. Yeah. If you can make it in your kitchen, it's probably 100 times better for you.
Yeah, anything that's not like, don't go to BJ's, Costco's and buy like a thing that's pre-made. It's better just to actually do home cooked meals. But what suggestions would you have for nutrition for a busy mom? Maybe the woman has like, she has a job, she has children. So how can she maintain healthy and still have time to cook those nutritious meals?
So two major tips here. The first one would be protein powder. I love protein powder and I love to make smoothies. And so I can load up the smoothie, with fruits and veggies, rice milk, protein powder. I use flax seeds. I just dump everything that I know I'm supposed to have into that. And then I'll share that with my kids and I know that they're having something healthy in the morning. The second tip would be, let Sunday evening or whenever works for your schedule be your meal prep day. Just take a moment, write out, maybe 4 or 5 dinners. Maybe on Sunday, you're going to cook a lot of tofu or chicken or beef or whatever it is. Divide it up into different packages. Maybe one you marinate this way, one you season that way, but just have it ready so that you're set up for success. When we don't prep, it's so easy to just grab whatever's easy or whatever's quick, and quick is not always good.
Yeah, exactly. And this is definitely, everything is quick. This is the quick era. This is the quick era. Everything is fast. So, but yeah, even Uber Eats, people ordering out a lot. So all that is processed foods. So yeah, I like that. And also too, with Total Body Beautiful, what parts of the book that's your favorite would you want to discuss in the book?
So we each wrote 3 chapters. I wrote a yoga chapter, emotional health, and then exercise. And I love the emotional health chapter because I talk about things like finding your voice, setting boundaries, not letting what I call energy vampires take all of your time and energy.
Oh,
and
I like that.
All of these things contribute to our overall health. Because if we're constantly just giving, never speaking up for ourselves and over giving and burning out, of course that's going to impact us.
I like that because it's true. Sometimes, just giving, you can burn out and you have to set boundaries. And that's one thing I do. I hear a lot during this era, people talk about boundaries. I'm sorry, when I was younger, I don't remember anybody talking about boundaries. Right? I don't know if there were any. Even on certain jobs, they have boundaries. You can't cross. You can't do this. Anything goes.
Yeah.
I would say like years ago. So
Totally.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that you put that in this book.
Thank you.
I like that you put this in this book. Anything else you want to let us know about? Oh, no, the main thing is you are in Hawaii. So what transitioned you to Hawaii?
So my husband and I had been coming to Hawaii for about 15 years, just on vacation. Every year it was our Thanksgiving trip. And we would save for it every year and we would give thanks for this beautiful island. And finally, we realized this was going to be home, but we didn't know when to make the jump. So we decided that when our older son was about to begin middle school, that would be a good time. So he wouldn't have to transfer in high school. So we got everything in place. February of 2020. We signed contracts for schools. We put our house on the market in LA, all the things. 2 weeks later, the world shut down. And we're like,
Oh no.
So I have to say it. Thanks be to God that it all worked out and we made it here. And we are so appreciative for this beautiful new life. But I'll tell you, I was just in New York like 3 weeks ago, and
Oh, okay.
I love the East Coast and I love travel, and I'm so appreciative to connect with you. And I can hear your little New York, and I love it. I love it.
I know I went to visit Hawaii. Hawaii is beautiful, though. I know. I think hens used to wake us up in the morning. I don't know if they do that where you're at, but they used to wake us up in Hawaii. They would wake us up.
So,
I don't know if it was a hen or a rooster. For me, it was a rooster. It was probably a rooster.
I'm still getting used to that after 3.5 years here, like going into the grocery store and coming out, and there's a rooster on my car. I'm like, oh.
And were you out there when they had the fires? You're not in that area, right?
Correct. Yeah. We were in the state, but not on that island. So that happened on Maui. And I recorded a meditation to help benefit Maui that's on my YouTube. So if you're
definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you you volunteered and helped the residents from the fire?
Yeah, unfortunately, so many people lost their lives. So many people lost their homes. And so it's going to be a continuing process. And the way that our news cycle works, it was in the news for a month and now it's kind of not. So if your heart is called to help Maui, I encourage you, even if it's just bringing awareness, just to whomever's listening, put up a post that says like, hey, we can still help Maui in this way.
Yeah. Maybe I do that. Maybe I could do like a sign or something at the end of this video or something, help Maui. If you want to send me like a little, if you want to email me like a poster or something, I could probably have it at the end of this video.
Amazing.
Because this is all about find your beauty within and helping others. And that's why, I started this podcast. So, I'm going to end on that note. If you have anything you would like to talk about or discuss, Desi?
So I'm going to be leading a retreat in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico in January of 2024 with one of my best friends who is a naturopath. And so she will take your blood panel, read your blood levels, tell you what macronutrients and micronutrients you need, any supplements that you need, and I'll be leading the yoga and meditation portion. So for those of you who are able to join us, we would love to have you. And then I just want to go back to one little thing that we talked about earlier with nutrition. I know it's hard to get it right all the time. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. There's no such thing. But if we can live 80% of the time with health and wellness and awareness of our food, of our movement, then that other 20% will take care of itself.
Yes. And with that note, thank you, Desi. And look out more on her YouTube channel and learn more about her yoga. And don't forget to pick up her book, Total Body Beautiful. Thank you so much, Desi.
Thank you. You're the best. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I say goodbye in Hawaii.
Aloha.
Oh, aloha. Aloha.